Welcome to the Week 15 edition of NFL Previews and Picks. Tonight at the Georgia Dome, the Jacksonville Jaguars come in to play the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams are on one-game winning streaks. The Jags had laid a 41-14 beating on the Bucs last week. There won't be any of that this week. Of course, all the Jags players are pretty much playing for their jobs at this point since they have a new owner and will have a new coach next season. The Falcons are just one game out of the fourth seed for the playoffs, so they need to show Jacksonville just how it's done down the stretch. Experience in that running game with Michael Turner pay off with the Falcons win. At Tampa Bay Raymond James Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys come in to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa is pretty much playing spoiler at this point, just what the Cowboys don't need. In spite of some lousy coaching decisions, the Cowboys are a good team. The trouble seems to be at times seems to be that Jason Garrett is not yet ready for prime time. After all, coaching the Cowboys is one of the highest profile coaching jobs in all of sports. He has made some questionable decisions that have cost his team wins. He currently has the support of his owner, Jerry Jones. Of course, that's usually the kiss of death. Right now, the Cowboys are out of the playoffs, but with a win would put them right back into contention. Cowboys win. At Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas, the Carolina Panthers come in to play the Houston Texans. Houston can't seem to keep their players upright, and now a coach goes down with an illness. Wade Phillips will be having surgery and will be out just a couple of weeks. No matter, though, the Texans are currently the best defense in the league and are the number one seed in the AFC. On offense, all TJ Yates has to do is keep handing the ball off to Arian Foster, and everything will be okay. Carolina is probably a player or two and a year or two away from contending, but that doesn't mean they won't compete. Cam Newton is a special player. That Reliant Stadium crowd will be crazy. They still have something to play for. Texans win. At MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Washington Redskins come in to play the New York Giants. Do you remember when this game used to be must-see TV? Not so much anymore since the Redskins have not been good in years. The Giants are still in a fight for playoff positioning, so they need to keep winning. Eli Manning might be contending for MVP if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers having the season he is having. This game could actually be good because both of these teams know each other so well. Giants still win, though. At Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo, the Miami Dolphins come in to play the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of teams that know each other well, neither of these teams is going to the playoffs. Tony Sparano was fired even though the Finns had been playing better as of late. Sort of odd if you ask me. So you have that situation as mentioned above, that everyone is sort of playing for their jobs. Expect the Dolphins to be extra motivated. As for the Bills, they started off the season like gangbusters and were the talk of the league. They have unfortunately come crashing back down to earth. I do think the Dolphins will play with a lot of emotion, but I have been picking the Bills all season and I can't stop now. Bills win. At Soldier Field in Chicago, the Seattle Seahawks come in to play the Chicago Bears. In last week's game, Seattle surprised the heck out of me. I thought they were going to stink up the joint. Of course, they were playing the not-so-good Rams. This week, they go into Soldier Field to play the Bears. While the Bears' offense suffers a little with the loss of Jay Cutler, their defense is still strong under the leadership of Brian Urlacher. The Bears' defense should not have a problem with the Seahawks' offense and comes out of this game with a win. At Minnesota, the New Orleans Saints come in to play the Minnesota Vikings at Mall of America Field. The Vikings lost a tight game last week and showed that they can put up points, but that was against the Lions. Not taking anything away from the Lions, but they are not the Saints. The Saints' offense looks like it could score on anyone, so the Vikings might have to put up a lot of points just to stay in this game. The Saints are possibly the only team in the NFC that has a shot against the Packers and needs to keep winning in order to maintain that. Drew Brees had what could be considered a subpar game last week, so expect him to try to fix that this week. New Orleans wins. At the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, the Cincinnati Bengals come in to play the St. Louis Rams. The Bengals are basically a game out of the playoffs, and with 3 games left, need to keep winning in order to have any chance at all. Andy Dalton has been a great surprise for them this year in replacing Carson Palmer. They have a top 10 defense against the run, which the Rams rely heavily on with Steven Jackson and with the injured Sam Bradford, who really looked uncomfortable in last week's game. Cincinnati wins. At Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, the Tennessee Titans come in to play the Indianapolis Colts. The good news for all you Indianapolis fans is that Peyton has started throwing a little bit. Now don't get too excited, Colts fans. There's no way he hits the field in an actual game this season. If he did, I would be shocked. Tennessee has QB injury problems of their own, with Matt Hasselbeck getting injured in last week's game. Jake Locker looked good in relief, though. The Titans still have an outside shot at the playoffs, and Mike Munchak needs to keep the pressure on his team to perform. No trouble this week. Titans win. At Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, the Green Bay Packers come in to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Looks like Kyle Orton will be starting for the Chiefs this week against the Packers if he's healthy. While he did not fit into the Broncos' plans, he is definitely a step up from Tyler Palko, having been around the league for a while and played in some big games. Too bad he has to make his Kansas City debut against Aaron Rodgers, Clay Matthews, and the Packers, who are otherworldly at this point. Could the Pack start resting some of its players? Doubt it. Pack wins. At Oakland Alameda County Stadium, the Detroit Lions come in to play the Oakland Raiders. This one is pretty simple. If the Lions keep winning, they are in the playoffs. As for the Raiders, they mortgage the house to get Carson Palmer and will be fishing pretty soon. And Ndamukong Suh comes back this week. It will be interesting to see if his style of play is affected by the suspension. I guess he was pretty defiant to the media, so I'm doubting much will change on the field. Megatron and Matthew Stafford lead a pretty good Lion offense. Lions get the win here. At Invesco Field at Mile High, the New England Patriots come in to play the Denver Broncos. Can somebody tell me why this game didn't get flexed? Anyone? Here we have a game with all kinds of storylines. Can the Pats defense stop the running game of Tim Tebow and the Broncos? Can Tim Tebow put up acceptable passing numbers? Can the Broncos ball control offense keep Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Wes Welker, and co. off the field? Can the Broncos defense, which has not been getting enough credit for the team's success, stop the high-powered Pats offense? With Tebow's heroics, this game has the potential to be an all-time great. You all know I hate the Pats, so Broncos win. At Lincoln Financial Field, the New York Jets come in to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Both of these teams put up numbers and wins last week, so maybe this game has the chance to be an offensive show. Of course, if they did that last week, that means this game could be a slugfest. Both of these teams have explosive players, and Mark Sanchez, in particular, has been playing better as of late. Same story here. Jets need to keep winning to maintain playoff position, but I have a feeling the Eagles have some more gas left in the tank. Eagles win. At University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona, the Cleveland Browns come in to play the Arizona Cardinals. And yet another edition of the Irrelevant Bowl. Here are two teams that have shown occasional signs of life, but are going nowhere this year. Maybe next year. Okay, maybe not. Both teams are young and inexperienced. The Browns, however, are still a little ahead of the curve because of the play of Colt McCoy, who suffered a concussion-like symptoms last week, and Peyton Hillis, who is still coming off an injury. Browns are much further along in their development and should win here. At Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, the Baltimore Ravens come in to play the San Diego Chargers. Baltimore has probably the best overall team in the AFC right now. The Chargers, normally a good team, have struggled even though they looked pretty good in last week's win. This game is a tale of vastly different offensive styles. The Ravens want to run with Ray Rice and then run some more. The Chargers are more of a passing offense with Phillip Rivers throwing to the likes of Vincent Jackson. The Ravens are really led by their defense, which to me is really more of a run-stopping defense. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against this wide-open offense of the Chargers. Ravens are really in the thick of it for a top playoff seed and get the win here. And finally, on Monday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers come in to play the San Francisco 49ers at Candlestick Park. In this matchup of legendary franchises, the Steelers head west to play the rejuvenated Niners. Ben Roethlisberger was injured last week and has been in a boot all week, so it'll be interesting to see how effective he is with the injury. Remember Sam Bradford playing with a leg injury last week? Not so good. Then again, Sam is no Big Ben. Both of these teams have good all-around games and coaching. While the Niners have been one of the great surprises of the year, the Steelers have been doing this for a few years now. Both of these teams are locked in tight playoff races. I could easily see either of these teams winning this game, but I'm going to give it to the Niners. I think Ben's injury and James Harrison drama they have been dealing with, that the Niners have the opportunity here and take advantage of it. Niners win. And there you have it, this week's NFL previews and picks.